Okay, so we need to talk about the fact that it's scientifically proven that there are more than two sexes in human beings. And I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about people's identity or how they present or anything like that. I am literally talking about the physical sex that they are at the time that they're born. You know, the stuff that the gender critical crowd might say is immutable and cannot be changed. And even by that metric, they don't make any sense because intersex people exist. A lot of intersex people exist. Back in the day, my grandmother worked at a hospital in Cocoa Beach, Wusthof. And she was always very proud to tell everyone about how she delivered astronauts' babies. You know, the wives of astronauts' babies, technically, I guess you could say, but, you know, um, she, you know, was very proud of her time working as a labor and delivery nurse in, you know, that hospital right here in Florida. And one thing that she'd also say when she was talking about working as her time there, or, you know, even as a nurse midwife later on in life, is that there were a lot more intersex children born than you ever could possibly realize. It's not like super rare, you know? And the thing about intersex people is they don't even necessarily know that they're intersex at the time that they're born. Because sometimes intersex people have outwardly, say, non typical anatomical features. So it's quite clear right from the outset that they're not male or female, but something else in between, or not necessarily in between, but just where, you know, they're different. And you know, there's a lot of intersex people whose outward appearance might match male or female, but if you look internally or on the chromosomal level, they are intersex. Now, it's totally possible for someone to have external genitalia that looks female and have XY chromosomes. That happens. It's not even necessarily that rare. Uh, you know, it's just sex, not gender. Sex is far more complicated than people want to make it out to be. And it's funny to me because the people who are insisting that you're man or woman and that's it and that's all there ever is, and you can't ever be anything but those two things, are just scientifically wrong. You know, like, I have a degree in biology. I can tell you, they're wrong. And, you know, it's not like there aren't other species that have, you know, actually multiple genders established, like bees. We love to insist that worker bees are just a different kind of female than a queen, but they can't reproduce. They're not queens. Queens are the females in bees. And then there's males, and then there's workers. And workers are just a different gender, a different sex, completely. And yet we have to pretend like they're not in order to try to make a model seem accurate when it's not. Like, sex is not binary, gender is definitely not binary scientifically. And, you know, people, anyone who tries to tell you that the science says that gender is binary or sex is binary doesn't know the science. Period. That's all I needed to tell you. That's really all I wanted to lecture you about today. Auntie loves you. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Goodbye.